All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are when you're watching this. But anyway, Mr. Batman here, and it's a lovely fall day. It's cold out there. And just got a comment on one of my uh, posts. And it's this post up here, and it says, if God exists, it's unsurprising that we live in an orderly universe with predictable laws of nature. If God does not exist, however, this fact is very surprising. A gentleman by the name of Reuben Wiley commented, and he says, you've truly created your God in your own image when you feel that a being of limitless, unimaginable power would only do things the way you would do them. You see, I don't know if you're paying attention to my message or not, sir, because that's basically what I said. You do not even listen to or understand my argument. God has some limits, sir. God has some limits. And those limits are that God cannot lie. The God of the Bible is perfect, and he cannot tell a lie. That's where we get the law of non-contradiction. You see, that's one of these very surprising in your worldview natural laws that you cannot seem to do without, the law of non-contradiction. Yet, sir, you can't do anything you want because of this law. Because of this law of non-contradiction, you cannot create a square circle, a one-ended stick, a married bachelor. You see those kind of things like that? You can't do that. Because these laws are not only descriptive or descriptors of the physical world, but they actually prescribe what is possible in the physical world. So, sir, if you're going to reject the God of the Bible, I've asked you this before and you've never yet answered, where do these laws come from? And you know what a natural law is? Again, let me remind you. A natural law is a pattern observed in nature repeatedly and exclusively without contradiction. You get that? Without contradiction. That means it doesn't change over time. So, since we know that these patterns that we observe in the physical world do not change over time, and we depend on them not changing, that's the effect. What would be the cause of these patterns that do not change over time in the physical world, since everything in the physical world seems to change over time? So that means that these laws have to come from outside of the physical world. Since the physical world does change over time, and we know these laws have to have a cause that does not change over time, what would be that cause, sir? Can you tell me that? The cause of these eternal, universal, and unchanging laws that you yourself depend upon every moment of every day to have a thought, to have reasoning, to utilize your senses. You see, sir, you have to have not only laws of logic, but laws of nature, both combined simultaneously for you to understand anything at all in the real world. Jesus said he is the way, the truth, and the life. And for a long time, I never got what that meant. But without him, sir, you cannot prove anything. Because without him, there is no laws of logic or laws of nature. Sir, I'm serious when I say this. Repent and believe the gospel. Repent or perish. Because that is your destination for rejecting the God that you know, for sinning against the God that you know. Because God does not send people to hell for sinning against a God that they don't know or breaking laws that they're not aware of. Because you know the God of the Bible because he's made you know it. You know his laws because he's etched them on your heart. He's written them on your heart. You can't help but know it. Repent, sir, so you don't go to hell. Merry Christmas.